So for this job, I'm at about $13 a square foot. That includes the installation and the removal. So we are looking at $11,180 for this job. Bro, if I can get this, I'm gonna be lit. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another week of the Tint Life. So this week is getting started a little late. So on Sunday, I ran my first marathon. So I decided that I wanted to take Monday and Tuesday off just to give me some time to rest and kind of just get my body back together and ready for the week. But we're coming up on Wednesday and I've got my first 2 jobs for this week. But I ended the week last week on some residential jobs. So the back of the van is pretty dirty. Gotta get that taken care of and prepared for tomorrow. So the back of the van is usually not this dirty. But I did have two residential jobs last week. And I've got to get like some boxes or some storage little bins or something like that for my commercial jobs, because right now I'm just kind of putting everything in my box and then just picking it out of these boxes when I need it. That's not efficient. If you guys have anything you recommend that I should use, let me know, because I am looking for something different that I can use for residential and commercial jobs to store my tools. As you can see, I have been trying out Rogue window films. So the film supplier that I am using, they used to carry Solar Effects, and they switched from Solar Effects to Rogue. And honestly, I love it. The film's not too tacky, meaning like the adhesive is not too aggressive. I like my tint to slide a little bit more. I don't like super aggressive film, so I like that part of it. But yeah, so far it's been pretty good. So if you have the chance to try out Rogue, I mean, I recommend it. It's something that I've been using pretty consistently. And my film supplier is, I mean, they're pretty trusted, you know, so I know they wouldn't have told me about it or recommended it if it wasn't quality. So yeah, I've been liking it so far though. I think I've been using it for about maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months now. Something like that, I don't know. So after my marathon, I decided that I wanted to get a tattoo that pretty much represented everything that I went through while training for the marathon. And one Bible verse that kept coming up during that time was Hebrews 12:1, which somewhere in there it says to run with endurance the pace that God has set for you. And that ties to training for, you know, a race. But it also is just a life principle for me, like to just keep going, keep the pace, continue in my walk with God, no matter what, no matter, you know, the highs and lows that I face in life, just to continue to keep the pace. So yeah, so I got keep the pace, and then I got Hebrews 12:1 right under that. All right, I got the van cleaned out. We are ready to go for tomorrow. I've got all my tent organized. I've got everything pretty much ready to go, so that when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to worry about, you know, getting all my tools together. Everything is right where I need it to go. So we are all set. One thing I do want to share with you guys is specifically if you are new in your business, if you're within that 1 year range, or you're just, you know, just getting started in your business, one thing I want you guys to do at this point is to document everything. So, you know, you may not have a bunch of followers on social media or, you know, even a big client base. But if your business is something that you want to do for the long term, it's something that, you know, you want to do with your life, and you plan to grow and scale the business and hire employees and things like that, you want to be able to have things to look back on years down the road. You know, once you've reached whatever your goal is and whatever you're working towards in your business, you want to be able to look back. So I have this van, and, you know, I have this pretty nice setup. By my standards, I think it's pretty nice, but it wasn't always this way. Like, I started out of the back of a 2006 GMC Yukon that was my parents' car. They allowed me to use it, but I didn't have any of this stuff. It was just boxes, water jugs, and my tools. That's really all I had. But the thing is, I didn't really record during that time. I was just so laser focused on working and growing my business that I didn't really document the process. I didn't take pictures of, you know, my setup. I don't really have any of that. So I'm really just looking at all the content that I have once I bought the van, my other van, not this one I'm in now, my other van. I really have just content from that van to this one. So I don't really have that to look back on. And I really wish I did. You know, those days where it's a tough day and I'm tired. And it would be nice to look back on those days where I was in my Yukon. And I'm just wishing that I was where I am right now. So if nothing else, guys, start recording, pick that camera up just so you can have it for yourself. And then if you decide to, you know, post it someday, then that works for you. But record your content now. Good morning. It's the next day. Today is Wednesday and I'm headed out for the day. So it should be a pretty straightforward day. I don't like to say easy day because I don't know. It's this thing where every time I say my day is going to be an easy day, I always get cars that are supposed to be easy and they end up being super hard. So now I like to say today should be a straightforward day. I have a 2025 F-150 and then a 2026 Ram 2500, I think. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like a pretty straightforward day, but we'll see. All right, so here's what we're working on today. This is a 2025 F-150. So we're gonna be doing 20% on the front, 2 windows, and on the back as well. So it's gonna make the back 5%, and then it's gonna make the front 2 windows 20. Let's get it done. All right, first things first, we're gonna get these sweeps pulled. You don't have to pull them, but on these F-150s, it makes the job a lot easier and cleaner. A lot easier and cleaner, at least in my opinion. So you're gonna pull here. There's one little clip right here. I usually pop the panel. It releases it. That one. The back is way easier than the front. This side. That one already popped. Pulling panels is one of those things you don't have to do, but that took me like 30 seconds. Now all the panels are pulled. We can get this tank going. All right, so I think this is 20. That is not 20. That's 20. And on these trucks, I like to cut the pattern sideways. Makes it a little easier. Got our patterns cut. Now we got to get these seats covered. It's a little windy today, so I'm gonna be sitting inside of the truck. So I've got one for the dash and then one for each seat. Because of the angle, I always like to go this way, then straight down, and then for the rest of the strokes I'll go back this way. This is why you protect the seats and the dash. So now I can spray as much water as I want and nothing is getting wet. The door panels are covered, dash is covered, everything is covered. One thing you want to be careful of is allowing the top edge to touch at the top before it's below the window. You can see there's a little gap there, because since it is windy, if the tint hangs over the top edge while it's windy, it's going to suck the tint outside and you'll get a ton of dirt and contamination. All right, so we just finished up the F-150. Turned out really good. So the back windows are now 5% and then the front windows are 20. So we're done with that one. I'm gonna go grab some lunch and then we'll head to the next job. That job ended up being, with the tip included, $490. So I'll take it. I mean, pretty much 500 bucks, and it took me about 2 hours. But that does include setup time, you know, breaking everything down, and then also recording this video, which takes time too. So, you know, 500 bucks in 2 hours, I'll take it. All right, so I am at the second job. Really good customers. I think I've done like, this, no lie, might be like the 15th car I've done for him. This thing is nice. Right there. This thing is brand new. It has, I think, 189 miles on it. Gotta be very careful on this one. All right, y'all, so I just finished up with the Ram. Like I said, we ended up doing 20% all the way around. So that made the front two windows 20%. The back is now 5%. And then I also did a tint strip across the front windshield. So today is supposed to be a pretty chill day. I have to do 2 commercial quotes, and then I have to do a set of 2 windows on an Audi, I think an A4. I'm excited about this commercial quote. From what I was told, these windows are pretty big. Well, one of the commercial quotes, and then the other one is just 1 window. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about these commercial quotes and how I got them while we're driving. Let's get going. So about 2 months ago, I did a job for one of my customers who owns a construction company. And after I finished the job, so I tinted his car, but after I finished the job, I just decided to ask, like, hey, do you guys ever have, you know, windows that need to be tinted at your job sites and things like that? And they actually needed someone. They were looking for someone who could do commercial and residential window tint for them. The guy that they were working with, they weren't really happy with it, but they didn't even know that I did residential and commercial. So that ended up being a partnership for me, and I've done now 2 jobs for them. If you ever have a customer that has any type of business or anything like that, even if they don't, always tell your customers what other services that you offer. You never know what they do outside of their job, or you never know what they do for work. You never know who they know. They may have a friend or a cousin or somebody that could end up helping you get some work. So for me, this is now, you know, a partnership that I have that I didn't have to market for, and I don't have to pay for, you know, just to get this lead. The first consultation that I'm headed to right now, I actually paid for this lead through my ads, but the second one is going to be a free lead for me just because I offered my services to an existing customer. So they want all of these windows tinted all the way down. They already have tint, but they want them redone. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty big job. Yo, so I just got back in the van and I'm about to send the quote for this job. So it's 860 square feet, and I have to do removal. So I'm going to be charging obviously for the installation of the new tint plus the removal. I'm at about $13 a square foot. That includes the installation and the removal. So we are looking at $11,180 for this job. Bro, if I can get this, I'm gonna be lit. That's gonna be huge. And we're going into the winter, so this will be the perfect time to get this job. I don't know, I feel like I did a great job at telling them why they need it and not trying to sell them. I feel like I told them why they need the tint and not just trying to sell them on something. I actually explained, you know, the benefits. I let them see the tint. They saw that it did a great job. So we'll see, man. It is in God's hands now, that's for sure. All right, so I'm at my next job for the day, or first job, I guess you could call it. The first one was just a consultation, but I have this Audi A4 that I did a couple months ago, but the customer failed inspection, so he had to peel the tint off the 2 front windows. So I'm just gonna be getting all the glue off because he did just snatch it off, which is all good. So I'm gonna be getting the glue off and then retinting those 2 front windows for him. Let's get into it. Always get out and check, make sure you don't have any gaps on the sides. And I did, so could you imagine if I didn't get out and check? All right, so I just finished up. Ended up looking good. Obviously, like I said, I already did the back windows, so we're just doing just the front 2. All right, so we are at the first job of today, actually the only job of today. So we're on Friday. So today I'm working on this Ram 1500, just doing the 2 front windows to match the back. So it'll be 20% on the front 2. I'm going just a carbon tint. They just wanted something just to give a little bit of privacy. So it should take me about 30 minutes, not too long, to get this knocked out. I appreciate you spending some time with me. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. It means the world to me just to have you guys' support on these videos. But I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Maybe we'll be getting some lettering on this van. I don't know. I've been putting it off. But I'll see you guys next time.